education from this class going to affect the education and gaming part in your class? How will you actually deliver it differently in your class now?
Actually, since I teach TV production, a lot of my lessons are very tutorial based, where it's almost step by step in order to complete certain edits. And I've been able to take from this class and look at it as giving my students a chance to role play and immerse themselves in the different areas that make up my class. I think it goes a long way in giving the students the ability to use their imagination, helps strengthen their creativity, while using gaming overall, it provides a unique and a fun approach to learning, and it moves learning away from teacher-centered instruction to more student-centered learning, and I think that's what's important.
Okay, Rack, why don't you take the next one there?
One of the biggest things I got from this course is just seeing the amount of choice and control we got to have, whether it be in D&D, creating our own characters, in Spore, creating a character, in World of Warcraft. You got to create that character, that your own personal identity within the game. And when I think about that, I think of kids and Facebook and be able to customize that, MySpace, getting a chance to customize that. They have so many opportunities where they get to customize and create their own experiences. Yet in school, they don't get to do that. Everything's kind of told upon them. And so I think if I can find ways to create more customization, give my kids more choice for how they learn, and the choice they get to make with regards to the activities they get to do as a part of it, I think that's one thing I can take from this course, enhancing the content of the education in my classroom. I think that's a big thing that kids are coming into the classroom with that they don't get a chance to really experience within the walls of the school.
All right, and I think it was Lex. You said you were the music teacher.
Yeah, I was a music teacher, and actually the thing that I found amazing with this class is that I wasn't sure how I was going to use it because I'm a band director, but I also teach music theory. And actually when I was working on my final project after school one day, I had one of my music theory students in the room, and she saw it, and I was amazed because she was a senior, and in my mind I was like, none of my older kids as a high school teacher will want to do this kind of stuff, and she just happened to be looking over my shoulder, and it amazed me. As she looked at it, she looked right at me and said, can we do this? Can we play this game in music theory? And this was a senior in high school. So it really opened my eyes to the fact that the kids do like it. No matter what the age, it's something outside of just sitting in a class listening to a lecture. So that was really an eye-opening experience for me. And her and I have talked about possibly making a kind of a D&D thing for us to do towards the end of the year as a fun little thing. So it's just that it can work with any age group and any subject, really.
All right, thanks. Stephen, how about you?
I actually use games a lot in my class. I play like Bingo and Jeopardy, and we review with whiteboards and everything, and the kids really like it, but I'm kind of toying with taking it to another level, and kind of like with some of the games that we've played, with every unit, have the kids sort of aim to be challenged or to have quests, and they can reach different levels at the end of each unit and kind of get awards for that. So it's in the early stages, but I think that we can use kind of a lot of the motivational strategies that we've learned in the game towards like a year-long motivational strategy for the students.
All right, thanks. I'm going to take this next one here. That I actually love games. I've raised on games my whole life, and up and down. The educational delivery, how I would use it, and I've already started to do this. I'm an art teacher, and I created a card game for art genres. To basically, I'll make a painting, and I'll put it out there, and the kids have to guess the style, and I'll use this to have them move around the room. And what they'll do is they'll end up having to sit with 3 different individuals every single day, and I do that like in the first 5 minutes of class. Gaming doesn't have to be a full class-long thing. I do it more like an icebreaker thing at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the year I'll do it just in general. I'll leave a card on the table, and they've got to go sit where they know where that genre is, where the name of that genre is on the table. So they get to know each other, challenge them a little bit more. And I think that's how we create how we create our delivery is the basic thing. How we actually go through and say, okay, this is how I want to do it. What can I bring into my class with the educational games? You can still bring in the fun along with and bring in the education. And that's what I think a lot of the times, we're losing in today's educational world. So let's see. Glenn, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm a music teacher as well, teach choral music and TV productions too. But, I do teach games somewhat, teach with games, but I'd like to just make a more concerted effort to find some games that could be altered to fit into my curriculum, some games that would work. I mean, for instance, like musical bingo, can teach the note values and things like that as far as music theory goes. I teach AP music theory, and sometimes that's not a whole lot of fun. So any type of game would certainly help to make things more motivating and fun for the students, and that would certainly help.
Okay, and let's see, we have Meadow.
I would have to say that coming from a corporate environment, it's a little bit more tricky, but I could definitely use gaming in role play. And it's just a matter of trying to understand what the basic subject is and putting something together to allow the players to feel like they're taking turns on how to learn, as well as how not to learn something. For example, providing effective feedback, how to do it the right way, how not to do it the right way, and then let them go through a series of interactive activities where they can learn from their mistakes and then realize, what not to do and then turn it around to what they can do.
All right, thanks. Did I miss anybody on this one?
I just want to say that in using this in my classroom, I've already been using some D&D type strategies of role playing with different pieces in my literature classes, but I'm extremely excited about next year maybe being able to use Quest Atlantis on our team, so that our students, when they have their computer lab time with no computer teacher, we can let them log into that and get some academic content in there while they still have the opportunity to socialize and feel like they're given some freedom to talk to people outside of the school and interact with students their age from around the world. So I'm excited to try that, and I will continue to use games in my teaching probably forever, just because it keeps things more interesting for me as a teacher too.
All right, Stores, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that the one thing that I have always looked back on my education career, and the things I've always had problems with, was I've always hated the way we were always assessed, which was always with pencil and paper tests. And I think gaming actually gives teachers an opportunity to give an alternative assessment by seeing that student actually perform what they're doing or data on a piece of paper. And I think that's the thing that really, listening to everybody else, that's the thing that really stands out to me, is that we can determine whether or not a student gets the content by them actually being able to do the content or to follow out the objectives. And I think that's with role playing, it's an excellent thing, because we can already assess whether a student understands or misunderstands something by the way that they handle the role play or the game itself. But I think that everybody's made excellent points.